Welcome to NuttieBuddie Entertainment.
Okay, let me talk about the first thing that I guess I want to talk a little bit about the Inquisitors, and you said you might have a tinfoil hat thing with this, so
Yes.
I'm kind of interested to hear your thing. But I kind of like the way, and some people don't. This is one of the sort of divide, I guess, how the Inquisitors are being portrayed, especially Reva, where she's kind of like too defiant towards like the other Grand Inquisitors, and it's sort of in your face about it. So some people don't like that about her character, but I do like the fact that they are all fighting for power.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing, the reason why the Sith went to the rule of two was because they would always be fighting for whoever could be on top. So it's like, okay, if we're all going to just kill each other, let's just only have two of us. And that way there, it's only like two. And so we're kind of seeing a glimpse of what it might have been like during like the Old Republic when there were so many Sith, and how they are all fighting for power. We're kind of seeing that with the Inquisitors, because now with the Grand Inquisitor, I'm going to go dead in quotes because I really don't think he's actually dead. He'll probably be in a Bacta tank at the end of this series. We'll see him floating in one.
Maybe,
I think it's kind of cool to see how these dark side Force users are fighting for power the same way the Sith did back in the Old Republic. So I think it's kind of a neat glimpse into what it would have been like if we saw an actual movie of the Old Republic.
No, yeah, it's very interesting how the others really seem to hate Reva, especially the fifth brother, and where that disdain comes from. I'm interested to see what that is. But I also thought it was interesting how Reva blamed Kenobi for killing the Grand Inquisitor. And obviously, after Vader fights Kenobi, he's going to know that she lied, because, that's not a Jedi who could have killed him, if he went up against that. So it'll be interesting to see how Vader kind of treats her after his fight with Kenobi going forward. But yeah, I really like the Inquisitors in this. I like that we're getting a glimpse into the dark side of the Force, and how that's kind of portrayed and like getting into, because that's something that unfortunately we haven't really seen too much. So it's nice that we're getting a different dynamics than we haven't before, some original stories. So
is it, real quick, is it Reva or Reva?
I don't know. Is it
Okay.
Reva or Reva?
I don't know.
I want to say Reva.
Okay, let's call her Reva, and if anybody knows for sure, just
or am I confusing it with Power Rangers?
Maybe, but I like Reva as well. But we'll probably call her 6 different names.
I know, yeah.
But yeah, Reva, I agree, and I think like it's them all fighting for power. It's interesting though, because Vader, when he was talking to Reva, when the Grand Inquisitor came up, he's like, I don't care about that. Basically, he's like, let's just talk about Kenobi. So I don't know if he'll really care about how the Grand Inquisitor got his. I think he's gonna more care about going after Kenobi,
or he might have not cared because he knew he was still alive,
yeah.
So that probably is what I'm kind of thinking, that he just glanced over it because he's chilling a Bacta tank. So
that's true. Okay, what other thing that you took away from this episode you want to talk about?
I thought it was interesting that they brought up Kenobi having a family prior to the Jedi. Specifically saying that he had like a younger brother. I don't know how that's gonna play out into the future of the series, or if maybe it's something else that kind of comes in with like a different series or something. But that was kind of an interesting Easter egg that they kind of put in there. I don't know if it'll come to fruition with anything.
Okay. Yeah, no, that is interesting. And he remembers glimpses of his family. I thought that was interesting as well.
Yeah, because we had previously talked about, when they were talking about Reva, like previous to this, saying like she's going to have a bigger storyline. We're kind of talking about, what that would be. And, if a Jedi is taken as a young age, it seems like they're kind of taken against the will of the, I don't know if the family agrees, like he has to get trained, but it seems like, they're taken very young and they don't really have any knowledge of what their family was prior. So it's not like once you become a Jedi Knight, you can then go back to your family or anything like that and get those connections. So yeah, it's interesting. We're getting kind of a glimpse into that.
Yeah, and what I thought also was interesting, it sounded like he said I was taken by the Jedi, right? I think he said that, but then he said he chose to become a Jedi and he got a new family. So it's almost like, well, it didn't, understand what I'm saying? Like, it almost sounds like he's speaking out, like,
are
I
you a
was taken.
youngling? Are you trained as a youngling? And then at some point it's like, do you want to continue to become a Padawan or do you want to go back? Or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I wonder if did you, by the way, you might have told me the tinfoil hat thing, did we get to that yet?
No, do you want me to get into
that?
Yeah,
I want to hear about, is it about the Inquisitors?
Yes, it's about Reva.
Okay.
So
do you want to save it for afterwards? Is it like a conspiracy theory? Okay, go ahead.
No, we can talk about it now.
Go ahead.
That's fine. So in when she enters the chamber with the other Inquisitors, the fifth brother, they're talking, and then he kind of pulls her down on the table to make her kind of like subservient. And that's around like 10 minutes and 50 seconds in. And when she's done hovering there, she kind of stands up and then she touches her stomach. And they like they do a brief like shot to that for some weird reason. I thought that was kind of weird. And then later in the episode, when they're Leia and Kenobi are running, the smuggler, who was the ex-officer, was talking about how the Inquisitors are taking young ones who are force sensitive to like a facility and they don't know what they're doing with them or something like that. So I have a theory that maybe she's with child, and her reasons for wanting to become the Grand Inquisitor is so she can keep the child and not like send it away for whatever they're doing.
Okay. That's interesting.
I don't know, because I'm trying to figure out what her motivations for what she is doing right now. And I'm kind of thinking like, just that scene was a little weird for me, especially when they kind of like shifted to like her hand hovering over her stomach. Like, I don't know if she was afraid that he would have sensed something inside of her, or if something would have happened if there was a child inside of her. But yeah, I don't know. That's my tinfoil hat theory.
Okay, I like it. I wonder. Yeah. Okay. Well, now we got to talk about how she would have became pregnant. Who's the father?
That's the other thing as well. Yeah.
Huh. She does know Anakin.
If you want another tin hat theory, maybe Vader is trying to, procreate.
Oh boy. I hope not. I will tell you, if that happens, Brian, I will never watch or talk about this.
You just got young. Yeah.
I'd be like, that'd be
Skywalker
awful.
Spread through the galaxy.
Yeah. That'd be awful. Okay. That's great. No, that's interesting. I did notice she did that. I didn't think much of it, but that's interesting. She might have a child, and in her aspirations, or maybe, yeah, because otherwise I was thinking, well, maybe she might be trying to find Kenobi so that she has somewhere to bring the kid, but then she wouldn't be trying to kill Kenobi. That wouldn't make no sense.
Yeah.
So, okay, let me talk about my next thing. Obi-Wan's and Leia's relationship. I like it. I think sometimes she's a little over the top, but I actually, so one thing I did do, I watched episode 4 this past weekend. When my Sunday lazy day, I just sat down and it was on TBS, and I'm like, I'm just gonna throw this on Disney Plus. So I ended up doing that, and I was like, yeah, if you actually watch episode 4, the way she talks and stuff, it kind of reminds you of Leia, like from episode 4. So I actually, but sometimes it's just a little over the top. That's all.
No, yeah. I mean, anytime a child kind of like acts like an adult, you're like, okay, what are you doing here? Mm-hmm. It's kind of cute, but at a certain point, it's like, all right, you're still a kid. So
yeah. But so the other thing though, that I'll have to say, that again, this is a reason why the episode kind of didn't sit right with me, is because do you remember in episode 4 the message that she sent to Obi-Wan, right? So she knows that his name is Ben and Obi-Wan Kenobi. She knows that. Mm-hmm. And she said, my father told me stories about you and how you served with him during the Clone Wars or whatever. And that's why I'm reaching out to you, right? That's basically what she was saying. So
Mhm.
now it's like, wait a second, they actually had an established relationship. Why didn't she be like in episode 4? Why wouldn't she be like, hey, yo, Obi, it's me, Leia. I need your help. Get your butt here right now. You know, the way she talks to him, like right now, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
just feel like they're establishing a stronger relationship that is sort of kind of ruining the continuity within Star Wars. If it was very brief, and it's hard because it's like any type of relationship, it's like, Obi-Wan, this is Leia, I need your help. She wouldn't have had to explain how she knew of him, which she did in episode 4. You served
Yeah.
with my father in the clone armies, Clone Wars, basically, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
No.
that's a little not upsetting, but doesn't sit right, I will say, for me personally.
Yeah, I unfortunately with a lot of this stuff, since it's after the movies, there's gonna be a lot of stuff like that, which it's like I can see it, but it's very loosely like explainable, where it's like, okay, it's just a couple of words that are off, and from those couple of words, then we're like, okay, would this actually happen? So I don't know. It's more I want to take the story as a whole, because we haven't seen the ending. So maybe she loses her memory of what
Mm.
happened during this entire thing. We don't know. So I want to wait until the end to like judge like how this rolls into episode 4.
Yeah. I could maybe see that a little bit, but it just like right now, that's the thing. I'm with you. I
No, yeah.
think I want to wait till it plays out, but just
Yeah.
uneasy, I should say. It makes me uneasy. It's just
No,
like
exactly.
it's sort of like I talk about I've talked about this before, but it's sort of like the difference between like fan fiction and actual story. It's like
Yeah.
fan fiction, you can bend the rules of a universe to fit whatever you want, right? And it's okay to do that when you're writing fan fiction, but when you're writing a continuation of a story, you have to consider what comes before it, what comes after it, and then you can write a story based on that. To me, if they don't kind of explain it a little better, it kind of to me is lazy writing just for the sake of entertainment. Oh, we want little Leia, let's put her in the Obi-Wan series. Whereas I think there's a better way you could do it, to have a little, a younger Leia in a movie or TV show or whatever
No, yeah.
that might not be connected to Obi-Wan. Or she doesn't know who's saving her. Maybe he uses an alias. That she doesn't realize that is Obi-Wan Kenobi, something along those lines. But it's just to me a little bit of lazy writing. We just want to tell this story the way we want to, and we're not going to
Yeah.
consider what's around it.
I can't remember in the episode. Does she know he goes by Ben though?
Yeah, because she called him Ben. Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So, and that's the other thing is, if he would have just said, my name is Ben, and then she's reaching out later to Obi-Wan, like then you could see like how she doesn't know who he is, even though they're the same person. She doesn't know that they're the same person. So that would be sort of a way you could kind of explain it. And I'd be like,
Yeah.
okay, I get that. But she knows both his names. So it's like, well, why are we explaining how you know of him if he knows you know of him? So yeah. So we'll just see how it plays out. But yeah, that had me a little uneasy, I guess.
Yeah, no, I completely, with him and Vader like meeting too, that just kind of contradicts some stuff.
Mhm.
But I'm waiting until the end to see exactly if they can get it to keep on to what canon is.
Yeah.
Or if if we're going to see where Disney is kind of just like, hey, we like the original material, but we're going to do our own take on it, and it's not going to be exactly as how it was. So far they seem to, for the most part, I would want to say about 89% they've kept it as it is. But yeah, with this show we'll really see if they keep it as it is, or if they kind of start to bend some of what reality in this universe is.
Yeah, we'll see. And we'll see how the fans feel about that, because I think that's really one of the bigger conflicts between the fandom right now. Some people really don't care, other people do.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to see how that works.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for listening to this clip of our podcast where Bryan and I reviewed part 3 of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. If you'd like to listen to the rest of the podcast, click on one of the links down below in the description. And also, if you missed our review for part 1 and 2, that podcast is also available in the description below. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends if you like what you're listening to. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will talk to you guys soon.